I think the problem is it's just the clarity. I think we spoke about it the other day that perhaps one side or another could have made a statement just to give us that clarity onto what's been happening. But this has been ongoing now since that Denmark game. We've brought it up a few times on various shows that we've done. Why hasn't it been signed? So it always leaves it open, particularly when we speak about it, because the Everton job came about and Sam Allardyce came and went. That was after the Denmark game. Martin O'Neill was supposedly sounded out for that job as well. Again, we don't know. That's only rumour. Don't get me wrong. But this one now, there's certain contact that has been made, and we've had no clarity as to what is actually happening regards the FAI or Martin O'Neill, and that's what just makes the uncertainty.
From a player's point of view, Kevin, so there's been some conversation about, he's been linked with Stoke, he's gone out of a conversation with them, and somehow this undermines his position with the Republic of Ireland if it ends up that obviously Flores gets the gig and O'Neill remains on and does eventually. I mean, it's plausible that O'Neill could end up signing that FAI contract next week. It's not an unlikely scenario. So there's been some conversation about his position being undermined by having this conversation with Stoke. I kind of think it might actually be the opposite, that in the players' eyes they're looking at a guy who's been 4 years in the gig, who's done pretty well, it has to be said, in terms of qualification and almost qualification, that actually he's been linked with a half-decent club in the Premier League and it almost endorses him.
Yeah, you know as well as I do, Adrian, how it works. The players won't give a hoot. They're not bothered. The players will not be bothered about Martin O'Neill, whether he were to leave or not. They're literally trying to concentrate on themselves, particularly now at club level. The only thing, and I think I've spoken about it, I think the other night, it's just that little bit of uncertainty. If a new manager were to come in, it's an uncertainty around themselves. Once you become established with a certain manager, is the manager going to pick me going forward? But the players will not be bothered one way or another. They really won't. The only thing, it's maybe from the outsiders looking in, it's how committed Martin O'Neill is. That's the only point I think that it'll be more the supporters that would have the concern. The players won't bother whatsoever.
And that's kind of